Hey guys, welcome back to Your Mind. And this time we are going to start a new series on the basics of system design fundamentals. I've got a lot of requests from all my viewers that they want to understand the basics also. So I decided to start this series and let's join in and cover the basics of all of it. Imagine it's 1 o'clock and the entire college shows up at the canteen for lunch. Same moment, hundreds of hungry people. Now, if there's one guy at one counter taking order, cooking, and collecting money, it's a chaos. The line wraps around the building. People live hungry, but a well run canteen, there's a counter for tokens, a separate line for each, someone refilling food before it runs out, and a fast lane for people who just want water. Now, same number of students, but it flows. Now, nobody wrote more code to fix that canteen. Somebody designed the system, who does what, in what order, and what happens when it gets busy. Now, that's system design. And that's what we are going to start today. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what system design means, how it's different from the architecture, and why every big app use Instagram, WhatsApp, your food delivery app, it lives or dies by it. Let's go. So, in plain and simple English, system design is deciding how the different parts of our software system works together so it can handle real users without falling apart. Notice what I did not say. I didn't say writing code. You already know how to write code, loops, functions, maybe a class or two. That's like knowing how to cook one dish. System design is running the whole kitchen. It's about the question like, how does the data live? What happens when 1,000 people click at once? If one machine crashes, does everything stop? Or does the app keep working instantly, or it can happen in the background? Now, these aren't a function questions. These are how do the pieces fit together questions. And that's genuinely different skill. One you build over time, not overnight. Now, here's the honest truth that makes beginners feel better. There is usually no single correct answer in system design. There are only trade offs, good decisions and bad decisions for your situation. We'll talk about the trade offs a lot in this series. All right. So now you've heard two words thrown around, system design and software architecture. And people act like they're the same. They're related, but here's an easy way to tell them apart. Think about building a house. Architecture is the blueprint. How many floors, where does the kitchen goes, where the plumbing runs. It's the high level shape and the rules everyone must follow. In software, architecture is the big structural choices like we split the app into separate services or everything talks through one central database. System design is the broader craft of actually making it all work at scale. Not just the blueprint, but how do we handle 500 guests at the party in the house without the bathroom line becoming a disaster? It includes the architecture plus the practical decisions, how data flows, how we handle the load, what happens when something breaks. So architecture is big part of system design, the structural skeleton. System design is the whole body around it. If someone asks you the difference in an exam or an interview, say architecture is the high level structure. System design is the structure plus all the decisions that make it survive the real user. That one line will serve you well. When someone says design a system for X, what do you actually do? You don't panic. You ask a few simple questions in the order. Think of it as a recipe. One is, what should it do? The features. User can post photos, friends can like them. Simple. Then the second is, how many people and how much data? 10 users in a different game from 10 million. You don't need a Ferrari to go buy a milk. Then the third is draw the big boxes. The app, the database, maybe something to make it faster, just boxes and arrows. We'll do a lot of these. Then fourth is the zoom it into the tricky part. Pick the one piece that's the hardest and think through it. And the fifth is what breaks and what do we do about it? Because things will break and a good designer plans for it. That's it. That's the whole shape of system design thinking. Everything else in the series, databases, caching, load balancing, all of it is just filling in the details of these 5 steps. Okay, the next part is then someone might say, but I'm in the first year. Why do I care about this? There are 3 reasons about it. The first one is it's how real software actually gets built. The apps on your phone aren't one giant program on one computer. They are dozens of pieces spread across the world cooperating. Understanding system design is understanding how the internet actually works behind the scenes. Then the second is it makes you a better coder today. Once you think in systems, you write cleaner code because you understand where your little function fits in the big picture. Then the third is, yes, interviews. Every serious tech company asks system design question. Starting now gently means you will be ahead when it counts. But honestly, forget interviews for a second. This stuff is just genuinely cool once it clicks. Okay, let's take an example. Let's ground it. You build a tiny app, a to-do list on your laptop. The only user is you. In that case, no system design is needed. It just works. Now your whole class wants to use it. Suddenly, where does everyone's data go? What if two people save at the same time? What if your laptop is off at night? You haven't changed what the app does, but now you have to think about how it holds. Congratulations. You just crossed from coding into system design. That jump from works on my machine to works everywhere all the time is the entire journey we are on. If you forget everything else, remember this. System design isn't about perfect answer. It's about making the best trade-off with what you know. Every choice costs something. More speed might cost more money. More reliability might cost more complexity. A good designer isn't the one with a magic answer. It's the one who understands the trade-offs and the picks wisely. Now here's a quick recap. System design is deciding how the parts of a system works together to survive the real user. Architecture is the structural skeleton inside that. And the whole thing is a series of trade-offs driven by five simple questions. Lesson, we look at the very first big architecture choice you'll ever face. Do you build one big app or lots of small ones? Monolith versus, and I promise, with the pizza analogy, it'll totally make sense. If this made system design feel less scary, hit like and subscribe. This series is going to build you up from zero. See you in the next one.